Okay, good. So we talk, Norm Academy, today about communication again. So we were going to talk about, we talked last week, or last on Wednesday, about the communication and how communication is very much highly non-verbal. So we are going to build on this because everything in life, all your problems and all your solutions rest in communication. All your problems and all your solutions rest in your communication. 99% of communication is non-verbal. You know, so 99% of your communication is non-verbal, and that's a problem when you are confused inside. Your projection is also confused. Your communication is confusing. That's the problem. 99% of communication is non-verbal, and you're not conscious of it. And unconscious. And if it's unconscious, that means it's based on your patterns that you've built. So unconscious means not aware of. It's like you drive home, but you not remember anything you did on the drive home. You know you got there, you know there was 10 lights, you know it must happen to you where you drive and then you, oh, I'm here already. You don't remember where you stop, where you go. Thank goodness you didn't hit anybody. But the brain can do that. It can do very complex things unconscious. If you've done it a lot, it won't happen to you if you're finding a new place. It will happen to you only when you're going to and from a place you've gone lots. Or if you're a taxi cab driver and you've gone everywhere, then it'll happen to you in more. So unconscious thinking happens when we are repeating something we've done a lot. So the problem is you communicate and you don't have good control of your communication. 99% of it is non-verbal, meaning what you say can't correct for the fact of you're internally confused, or you're angry but you don't want them to know you're angry. So you're very nice to them, very polite, but they know you're angry. And they wonder, why is he not just telling me the truth? Which creates doubt, mistrust, and ultimately relationship stress. So the thing is that we have to, we can fix this, we can change this. We have to shift our communication so that it's not as unconscious. Because if it's unconscious, it's based on patterns. Those patterns are determined So based on patterns, and these patterns were encoded 0 to 11 years old as a child. So we must there's two ways to deal with this, and you got to do both. We got to change the patterns. That takes time. That takes effort. It takes consistency. A daily practice, practiced regularly, will slowly change the core programming so that when you're not thinking, you're still communicating okay. That needs to happen, and it will happen, and it'll happen slowly. If you get yourself some good trauma therapy, it'll happen a little faster. But the core programming must change. But you hear me say often, we want to learn and unlearn. So unlearning is unlearning these patterns, but then we need to learn a better way. So today we're going to talk about coaching as an alternative form of communication. So coaching. So last session we talked about how coaching creates a strategy, a way to communicate that you can use to help people be the best they can be, to create the win-win. So coaching, the two principles of it is, coaching is all about the other person. It's not about the coach. It's about the other person. The coach, you know, when let's say it's in a team, a coach, what makes a coach feel really good? And when the person he's coaching or she's coaching does good, comes first in the race, the coach says, yeah, feels good. It's not that you came first in the race, it's that they came first in the race. A lot of coaches aren't even that fit. Necessarily, you don't have to be a good coach. You don't have to be an expert in that thing to be a good coach. In fact, being the expert makes you very likely to advise. And so, when we want to coach somebody, we need to think about what is good for them, remembering that they are different from us. I am different from you, you are different from the next person, you are different from the next person. So we have to think about how can we help that person be the best person they can be. And when they're the best person they can be, it'll be easier for us to work with them, to be with them. But we have to remember, we and they are different. The coach that tries to make the coachee, the person being coached, the same as them doesn't work. You know, I don't want at NOM to create a whole bunch of Dr. Gills. That'd be a very confusing world. It's not, you know, the universe doesn't necessarily want me to clone or reproduce myself. It wants me to produce people who are capable of helping others be uniquely how good they can be. So this is the most important thing, is coaching is about the other person. So before we can really be effective coach, and today we'll talk about some coaching questions. But this is the hardest thing that will keep you from success. Whenever you relate to the other person, there's actually 4 agendas. 4. So you have you and them, the coachee. So you have you, the coach, and you have them. And it's the whole reason why we struggle is you forget something. You forget that your agenda, so you have your agenda and they have their agenda. So agenda just means what you want out of the relationship. That's your agenda. Something that you're aware of, conscious of. It might be that you want sex. It might be that you want money. It might be that you want, like if it's your wife, that you want her to be a good mother. It might be that you want a good husband if you're a lady. It might be that you want a person to be on time. This is the conscious agenda. So we're going to call this the conscious, C. That's the agenda you're aware of. And then you also have the hidden agenda. You have a hidden agenda and they have a hidden agenda. You have a hidden agenda and they have a hidden agenda. Hidden agenda, by definition, is hidden. Can't see it. You do not know it. You do not know your hidden agenda. But it's there. It's secretly what you really want out of that relationship. The hidden agenda will come out in your communication. It is an unconscious agenda, and it will come out. And so, for example, your agenda might be, an example is let's say you're in recovery. You want to be recognized by your family or friend. You want them to treat you with more respect. So your agenda might be respect. You want to be not yelled at, and that's good. What's your hidden agenda? Your hidden agenda might actually be that you want to control. If it's a woman, a lot of men have a hidden agenda that a man should control the woman. If the woman does not do as the man wants, they feel less of a man. It's deep programming. This is what they saw growing up. Or opposite. Core programming is what determines a hidden agenda. And so you're trying to communicate with someone. You think, oh no, I don't want anything. I'm all about helping you, coaching you, I'm all about you. But your hidden agenda is you want to control. What's their agenda? They may have an agenda as they want security, stability. Oftentimes families, they want stability, security. But that spouse may have a hidden agenda too, determined by their 0 to 11 core programming growing up. So maybe their issue is control. They want to be in control. And now it starts to make sense why you tried to talk to someone with the best of intention, but it ended up in a fight. Because the self that controls this is like, your hidden agenda is usually a child in emotional maturity. So let's say it's 8 years old. And let's say hers or his, the spouse, is 10 years old. This is where that idea, they're fighting like children. Adults are fighting like children. My mom and dad, they fight like children. These words, they come up because that's exactly what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. The core of coaching and communication has to be understanding that you have a hidden agenda. You might want to talk about, like laundry, cleaning, but your hidden agenda might be sex. Oh, let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. But you're just doing it because you want sex. Hidden agenda. And guess what? They know. But because it's not said, it's not explicit, especially if it's not welcome, it creates a fight. Because when you don't get what you want, your 8-year-old hidden agenda, and we're having a bit of that today, aren't we? There's a bit of like hidden agenda, control, gets upset like a child. Because it is emotionally programmed as a child. And it acts like that. So I'm going to teach you about coaching, but you have to understand that your real agenda, your conscious agenda, and your hidden agenda have to become the same. The closer they are, the better your communication will be. This is why at NAM we like to do inner child work. We like to do some of these trauma things. It's because it brings your conscious aware what you want, and it aligns it with deep down what you really want. You become aware of it. So this lecture even is just so that you can become aware that, hey, I have something. I have an agenda, and when that is not met, I will get emotionally upset. So if you ever wonder why you get upset, some guy the other day told me, you know what, I'm calm unless someone cuts me off in the traffic. And then he will follow him home. Or she. That happens. Or they get out of the car and they kick the car, they break the headlights, road rage, right? It's a hidden agenda. They're driving, something unexpected happens, the hidden agenda becomes activated, it floods, it takes control, and then it makes a mess of things because an 8-year-old has no business in the life of a 50-year-old. An 8-year-old can throw a tantrum because they have a parent who's going to go there, but at 50-year-olds, there's no parents, there's no system, there's just jail and police. And so that's why it gets very messy. Because an 8-year-old may want control, but they can't handle control of a 50-year-old's body. They can handle control of an 8-year-old's body. So the core problem with communication, before we can really get to any kind of coaching, is we have to ask ourselves, what is our hidden agenda? And if you say you don't have one, either you do not need recovery and you're totally fine, or you're blocked and you just don't know. I assure you, people don't come to me without a hidden agenda. Unless you've done a lot of work, hey, I have a hidden agenda. Every now and again it gets the best of me. At least I know though. And you can become aware. When your hidden agenda wants to activate, your amygdala is going to rev up. It's going to get fired up. Your brain is, if you can identify the signs, you ask a question, and your heart starts racing faster. A coach is always calm. So if you're not calm, very likely a hidden agenda became violated. If you get angry all of a sudden, very likely a hidden agenda became activated. And a good thing to do is, in the midst of that, just ask yourself one question. Ask yourself, how old do I feel right now? I guarantee you you'll get an answer. And I guarantee you it won't be your age right now. If it is, chances are you may not have a lot of practice looking inside. But the brain, you can Google it, it'll tell you. So if I know someone has a knife behind their back for me, and they're saying, oh, hello, how are you? Yeah, can we go to watch a movie tonight? Yeah, that'd be really great. But they know you have a knife behind you. They're gonna say, yeah, let's go. Oh, you know what? I got something else I gotta do. Sorry. Because they know you got a knife behind your back. If they know you're gonna flip out and go crazy if they don't say yes, they're gonna go along with it. They're gonna say yes. But that's not real communication. Nothing real will be resolved because they're worried you're gonna flip out and get angry. No real communication can happen unless we become aware of our hidden agenda. And I'll give you a hint, it's always control. It's always fear. It's always related to control. Losing control. A common thing, for example, in men is like men get this enculturated thing, especially immigrant men, that, what your wife does is a reflection on you, so control her. It's a bad idea, but it's there. Hands up if you've heard that or felt that. What your wife does reflects on you. I guarantee you it goes the other way too. What your husband wears, my wife tells me, Dr. Gill, or Rabia, she calls me, if you wear that shirt, they're not gonna take it out on you, they're gonna take it out on me. And that's true. And that's sad. My decisions are not, I'm not being held accountable, it's her. But this is the world we live in. So you have to question these beliefs and where they come from. They come from long before you had any wisdom to change them. So, coaching, this is communication part 2. Hidden agenda. How do you go after a hidden agenda? That's for another lecture. But you have to go after it. And if you do, people say this to me. They say, Dr. Gill, my family believes you, they don't believe me, like as a patient. That's because you've been communicating with a hidden agenda for 20 years. Of course they don't believe you. It's not going to change very quickly. Whereas me, my agenda is clear. My hidden agenda is managed. So what I say is believable. It seems more authentic. I speak from a higher vibration. And that has to be you too. And you can be you. There's no reason it can't be you. You need a daily practice to keep your hidden agenda under control. That's the reason for a daily practice, is because you communicate every day. So your daily practice will control your hidden agenda for that day, and that day you won't make a mess of your communication. And your life stress will get less. That's the mechanic of it. In the next couple of sessions, we'll talk about some specifics of how can you ask questions? How can you communicate? Let's say you've controlled your hidden agenda. Let's say and now you just want to know, okay, I know what not to say, Dr. Gill. What do I say? We talk about that next time. And that's very important. So, my apologies if I offended, misspoke. It's always good whenever you're looking at hidden agendas to do, if you're on meditative practice and prayer and stuff, these things help manage the hidden agenda. There's many technologies to help. The key thing though is you have to be aware that you have one. And if some part of you is getting upset at me saying that, that's a very good hint. If some part of you is saying that I don't have one, that's the hidden agenda. There's clues. It can't stay secret once we shed light on it. So more to come on this. Many thank you for listening. So I'm just gonna pause this.